Were injured as two crowded trains crashed head-on. The accident occurred 130 miles northwest of London. Witnesses say both trains were traveling at up to 90 miles an hour at the time of the crash. One train was going from Liverpool to London. The other was headed to Manchester from London.
INN's Health Beat was brought to you by Advil.
I think a little higher. When my head hurts, no painting looks good.
I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but today I take Advil. Advil contains a non-prescription strength of the medicine in the prescription brand Motrin. Doctors have already recommended Advil over 1 million times. You see, just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular aspirin. Advil got rid of my headache, and it didn't upset my stomach. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
This is an AT&T long-distance command center where our engineers make sure your calls go right through. It's a unique system only AT&T can bring you, with thousands of ways to get from here to there. And there are 7 more centers like it, because we're not about to take chances that busy circuits could keep you waiting.
Well, she definitely has my hair.
For over 100 years, when you reached out, we were there, and you can keep it that way. AT&T, the right choice.
What's that you're shaving with?
A Norelco.
Terrific.
Well, it is the leading electric and shaves close as a blade.
You're right.
It's their patented system that lifts each whisker and shaves it off blade close.
I love it when you talk high-tech.
Norelco. We put quality first.
Great coffee.
It's my Norelco.
We gonna talk shaving again?
No, my Norelco coffee maker.
Beautiful.
Yeah, let you pour a cup before it's finished, and it turns off automatically.
I've gotta go.
You just got here.
I left my coffee pot on.
Norelco. We put quality first.
She charmed Congress. Now Philippine President Corazon Aquino hopes to win over the U.S. business community. Today, Aquino took her Invest in the Philippines campaign to New York City. Mary Murphy reports on Aquino's triumphant arrival in New York.
She wore the yellow dress of victory, the yellow that has come to symbolize the downfall of Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos and a 20-year regime. But Corazon Aquino's visit to New York was more than just a celebration of democracy. This was a joyous homecoming for the graduate of New York's Mount St. Vincent College, a woman who once predicted she would be an ordinary housewife. Now, amid tight security, she was greeted as Madam President. But even the dignitaries were soon chanting her more familiar name.
Cory, Cory, Cory.
This 53-year-old mother of 5 probably would not be here if tragedy had not decided her fate. 3 years ago, her husband, opposition leader Domingo Aquino, was assassinated at Manila Airport. This former housewife has now inherited a $26 billion national debt. But yesterday, she mesmerized a joint session of Congress and won House approval for $200 million in economic aid. Today, she received the key to New York City and the Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award.
I was last here in New York as a tourist with my husband Ninoy and our children. I wish he could be with me today, but in a way, he's the reason why I'm here, to complete the mission he started and to convey our thanks.
Outside City Hall, several hundred Filipino Americans gathered to savor the words.
I think she's the new Gandhi, and I think she is carrying the torch.
She's very much lovely.
But across the street, the sentiments were very different.
Because she's a communist! We want the bases to stay in the Philippines.
You don't think Mrs. Aquino will keep the American bases?
No!
Cory Aquino apparently never heard or saw the protesters who traveled here from Los Angeles. One Aquino supporter quipped, Marcos probably paid each protester $50 a day to make noise. Before she left City Hall for a lunch with American and Filipino bankers, the president referred to New York City's 100th birthday celebration for the Statue of Liberty.
From nearly opposite ends of the earth, we made 1986 the year of liberty. Many, many thanks to you, and I love you all. God bless you.
For the Independent News, this is Mary Murphy.
The first step toward banning all nuclear weapons in the Philippines. Today, the Commission, drafting a new constitution, unanimously approved an amendment barring all nuclear arms from the Philippines. The Philippine Army has no nuclear arms. However, experts say U.S. ships carrying nuclear weapons do dock at the Subic Bay Naval Base in the Philippines. Only 2/3 of the Constitution has been drafted so far.
There was this guy, a nationally known sports hero. And then I got busted. As a result of my lust for cocaine,
I was totally out of control, and I didn't even realize it. That's what's crazy about cocaine. I had a beautiful family, a big house in the suburbs, everything I wanted. Then I got into cocaine, and I almost lost it all.
I was crazy from cocaine. I couldn't live without it. That wasn't me. It was somebody else.
It's a lie that cocaine's not addictive. I didn't choose to be an addict. Quitting cocaine was... One night, my heart freaked out. I thought I was going to die. I risked my health, jail, and the people who loved me.
Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're taking the exact same ride.
Anyone tells you cocaine's not addictive, they lie.
Cocaine, the big lie. Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Hi, this is Jack Lemmon for Very Special Arts. As a performer, I know the importance of expressing yourself. Whether it's on stage or through music or the visual arts, everyone should have this chance. The artistic talents of the disabled can contribute to all of our lives. And that's why I think that through the power of the arts, disabled does not mean unable. So please join me today and help support Very Special Arts.
The Independent News, brought to you by AT&T.
In our USA Tonight notebook, anybody around here seen a white stucco two-bedroom house that's been missing since Wednesday? That's a question being asked in Irwindale, California. A two-bedroom house is missing. The house was discovered missing by some termite inspectors who were hired by the owner. Imagine what the termite inspectors must have thought when they arrived and the house was gone. Irwindale police are convinced it isn't termites, but thieves who are responsible for the missing house. One police officer said, for all I know, they used a helicopter. If anyone out there sees a white stucco house standing where it shouldn't be, please call the Irwindale, California Police Department. The mystery of the missing house isn't quite as corny as the mystery in Evans, Colorado. It rained corn earlier this week, kernels of corn. And some residents say it's not the first time they've seen niblets fall from the sky. It happened in other years, they say. Residents say that occasionally it also rains pinto beans. It's a mystery, all right. There are no farm fields or grain elevators nearby. The local police chief calls it a pretty corn-fusing case. The chief has a good sense of humor. He would have to live in a place where it rains corn and occasionally pinto beans. And now to our show business segment. Legitimate theater is going to the dogs in Amsterdam, Holland, literally going to the dogs. A new play has opened called Going to the Dogs. In the cast, 6 dogs. That's it, no humans, just 6 dogs. The dialogue is not very impressive, but the producer says the plot has bite, that it's sort of like Dallas, a story about family problems. The dogs had rehearsed since January for the 4-act play that opens tonight at a real theater. The author is Wim Skippers, who is described as the Andy Warhol of Amsterdam.
Well, Going to the Dogs is not only a play for 6 dogs, but also the situation that people are going to the theater and to watch the acting of 6 dogs. It's just a theater experience of the first order.
Skippers had trouble raising money for Going to the Dogs, but finally the city of Amsterdam and the government of Holland came up with most of the scratch. Perhaps critic Jeffrey Lyons will review it, but not tonight. Tonight he reviews the INN Friday night movie, Otello.
This version of Otello, taken from the classic opera by Giuseppe Verdi, Joe Green to his friends, is a stirring, gut-wrenching tour de force, for it combines, for my money, the greatest opera star, Placido Domingo, with the greatest movie director of operas, Franco Zeffirelli. The result is unforgettable. Why? Because this version is theatrical in the positive sense. The camera only augments the action, the drama, and irony, yet the performers never play up to the camera either, because Zeffirelli, a master at all of this, uses his lens with a free hand, opening up the action too. He never lets his camera get in the way. Of course, you know the Shakespearean tale of woe about Otello, the vain Moorish governor of Cyprus, who foolishly believes Iago's treachery about Otello's wife, Desdemona's infidelities. Here Otello sings with his wife. Domingo is magnificent. Otello also works thanks to Placido Domingo's ability as an actor as well. His gestures, grandeur, and sweep all combine to add power to a magnificent characterization of one of Shakespeare's and Verdi's most tragic figures. Even if you thought opera put you off, go see Otello. Just as Bizet's Carmen was a stirring movie last year, again with Domingo, Otello is a sure candidate for a Best Foreign Language Academy Award next spring. It's Otello and it's magnificent. That's the Friday Night Iron End movie. I'm Jeffrey Lyons.
And that's the Independent News for Friday, September 19th. I'm Morton Dean. Have a good night and a good weekend.
The preceding broadcast was pre-recorded. At this time, WDCA TV 20 in Washington, D.C. comes to the end of another broadcast day. WDCA TV 20 is owned and operated by Taft Television and Radio Incorporated.